Before I get started, though, I do want to say, as I've said in all my other videos, I do not personally care what you believe. I believe it is your right to have those beliefs, and I respect the fact that you have those beliefs. And that is true whether you believe in a God, don't believe in God, believe in many gods, whatever. That's totally up to you, and that's your choice. I'm also not trying to convert you to anything else. I'm not trying to, convert you over to my side or anything like that by these videos. I just feel that the communication of these ideas is important, and so and should be thought about and should be seen. So that's why I'm doing this. And there's actually something else that a doctrine that the church had been teaching for thousands of years at that point, that in a way made it much easier for Hitler to do what he did. And this was the Jewish Deicide doctrine. The Jewish Deicide is a doctrine that both the Catholic and Protestant churches were teaching at the time of World War II. And it started as early as the 2nd century that this doctrine was taught. Basically, most of this idea came from a Bible verse, a couple Bible verses, from Matthew 27:24-25. And I'll read that here. So, when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves." Then the people as a whole answered, "His blood be on us and on our children." So that Bible quote basically led, and oh, by the way, before I go into that, the people in this context are the Jewish people. So the doctrine basically became that Jewish people were at fault for killing Jesus, and some religious people even went farther and preached that they should be punished for their involvement. A lot of the bad things that happened to the Jewish people over the years were excused as, well, they did kill Jesus, so maybe they deserve it. Is that a moral thing to say? Well, let's see. So, how did something like Jewish Deicide, how much easier did it make it for Hitler to come along and demonize the Jewish people like he did? I mean, it's hard to say how much of an effect it had, but it obviously had some effect. I mean, if you think about it, if the church you're going to, if you're a Christian, is saying, well, the Jews caused Jesus to die, and even some of them were going further and saying the Jews should pay for their crimes, and then you get a leader like Hitler who is saying, well, the Jews are a horrible race and deserve to die. His words, not mine, obviously. I don't believe that. But how hard was it for the people then to go, oh, wait, our church is teaching that too, so he must be right. And then allowing him to start atrocities. Now, I don't think that's the only reason that it happened. I don't think the Jewish Deicide doctrine was the only reason. I think it was a big reason. So thankfully, the Jewish Deicide doctrine was ended. But here I have a multiple choice pop quiz for you all. When did the Jewish Deicide doctrine end? Was it A, in 1945, right after the war, when the evidence of the atrocities that happened were discovered? Was it B, 1950, Sure, it took 5 years, but these things take time. Things had to be reviewed and votes had to be made, etc. Was it C, 1955, a decade later? This is starting to get awkward, guys. Or was it D, 1960? Come on, really? The correct answer, by the way, is none of the above. It actually happened October 28th, 1965. A full 20 years later. It took them 20 years after the atrocities of World War II to say, maybe we should stop teaching this. It did end under Pope Paul VI and the Second Vatican Council, at which point the church stopped teaching that it was the Jewish fault for the crucifixion of Jesus. But 20 years later? Really? 20 years? The doctrine taught for thousands of years, which made it so easy for a person like Hitler to do what he did. And it took 20 years after that to think, maybe we should stop teaching this now. The Jewish people in Europe went through the Holocaust, and for 20 years, essentially what the Catholic Church said was, they deserved it because they killed Jesus. I guess that's a good morality according to the church. Not according to me. But anyway, that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day. Bye-bye.